Is this thing on?
Good. Guys ready? Call the meeting to order and ask that you join us in the pledge to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome for joining us tonight at our March Board of Supervisors meeting, either in person or if there are those joining us live by YouTube. If at any time you can't hear us, please let us know because we can't tell out there how well you hear us.
You sound great, Art. Just wonderful.
Agendas are available on the table as you entered the room if you didn't get one, along with a sign-in sheet. If you didn't sign in, please do that before you leave. Agendas for tonight's meeting were posted on this building's entrance door on the township website. Meeting is live streaming on YouTube. Will be posted immediately. A recording will also be available through the township website, and written minutes will be available through the township website after approved by the board. We'll have two opportunities for public comment. After being recognized by the chair, we'd ask that you step up to the podium, speak strongly into the microphone, and state your name and address, and note that we have a 5-minute limit for comments. With that, we'll do self-introduction of the board and staff.
Dave Burrows.
Jeff Rogers.
Art Rutledge.
Bob Brown.
Jeff Arnold.
Hear you loud and clear, Bob. Bob is joining us from home tonight.
Ryan Weinsweig, Assistant Manager.
And Todd Ziegler, Township Manager.
And our recording secretary, Wendy Brown, is joining us via YouTube, and we have excused our solicitor from tonight's meeting. So with that, we will go to the agenda. First item is approval of the minutes of our last meeting in February.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions or comments before we vote? Call for the vote.
Aye.
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 I heard Bob simultaneous there, so we have five votes to the affirmative. We've approved the minutes. We'll move on to the treasurer's report, and Todd will address interest a little bit later, but it did get almost up to $5,000 for this month. And I think one or two things. We had two cable franchise money come in, and we had one of the grants reimbursable for the recreation fund that came in, so that helps offset that. And the judgment that we didn't think we would get for that $23,000 is now in our hands.
Is that the reason the interest was higher?
No.
Because of the additional
No,
funds,
it went
or
right
did the
down,
interest rate go
so
up?
Todd's going to explain that right behind you.
Outstanding. I'm sorry, I jumped the gun.
That didn't have any impact on the interest, though, really. Are there questions that anybody has, or comments from anybody? Todd, or questions?
No, I'm okay.
Are we doing the interest thing now or later? I'm sorry, I'm interested.
That's the next
After-
agenda item.
After we,
Thank you. I wasn't reading ahead. Make a motion to approve the February budget.
Second.
It's
All right.
been thirded. Thank you.
we have a motion and a second to approve the treasurer's report for February. Questions before we vote? Ask for the vote.
Aye.
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 5 votes to the affirmative. We have approved February's treasurer's report. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the banks and interest, Todd.
Yeah, if you remember, I guess about 2 months ago, we learned from CNN Bank, who we do all of our banking with. When we went to add Ryan to the accounts as a signatory, they discovered that they had the township in their business account plans instead of their municipal plans, which affected our interest dramatically. It dropped it probably, I'm going to say probably about 60%.
So what you're saying is
So-
Ryan is costing us money?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So of course, I emailed them. We had some conversations. They actually came down and met with Ryan and I, and Wendy, and we talked about why municipal money isn't as good as business money, And they did point out a couple things that, you know, I do agree with, and I think it makes sense. First of all, they charge us for no fees. Normally, a bank will charge us for every ACH. You know, we have remote deposit so that Wendy doesn't have to run to the bank with all the checks. Payroll, ACHs, we get no charges whatsoever. The other thing that is significantly different between a municipality and a business entity, a private business, is every dollar that we have in a financial institution that from the municipal, state, or I don't know about federal, but no municipal, state, and school districts in the county, the bank has to collateralize matching funds and set them off to the side, anything above and beyond what the FDIC insures. So that's money that they're actually pulling out that they really can't use to invest. So that's the main reason for the difference between municipal and the business accounts. Now, with that said, if you remember, last month our interest earnings were down significantly lower, as Art had pointed out. So we talked to them about what can we do to rectify that. So they call it, I believe, the ISC. That's a sweep account. Every night they take the funds and invest it overnight, and it comes back into your account the next day. That interest rate was right around 2%, but they agreed that they would bump that up to 3%. And we're looking at now, let me see what the number was here. Taking 1.7 million from the general fund and putting it into CDs, and they would just be 6-month CDs. Those are at 3.5%. And I did a little bit of math there for you to take a look at, and that's going to get us our interest back up to where we belong to meet our budget. However, that 3% bump that they did with the ICS account, the sweep account overnight, that is fixed for 3 months, and then they're going to take a look at it again. I was talking to Art earlier. I feel that with us doing the CD investments for the 6 months, gets our interest earnings back up to where we need to be, and that allows us time to do a little more research. Pliget, which is Pennsylvania Local Government Investment Trust, been around for probably 40 years. I know that they're liquid accounts, meaning we can go in and invest today and we could take it all out tomorrow. For the month of February, they were at 3.56. So we want to explore that as well a little closer, because that way we wouldn't have funds tied up in CDs. Not that we anticipate we would need that, but nonetheless.
Is there any legality concerns about investing the money, for lack of a better term?
No,
order to
no,
increase
CDs are very common
All right.
at the municipal level, and Pliget is used by many municipalities, school districts and counties.
All right.
Yeah.
The only other question I had just escaped me.
What is today's business rate, just for comparison?
I don't know that answer. I'm not sure. Not sure.
If we needed to break the CD, it's able to be done. We just lose the interest.
I think 3
being
months,
accumulated?
if I recall correctly, would be 3 months worth of interest if you needed to.
Okay.
But I'm very comfortable with the 1.7 million.
Yeah.
We still have plenty of a cushion should we have an emergency or something that we would not need to do that.
All right.
And then we would also transfer, I didn't show it on here, but we would also transfer funds from our liquid fuels account, because that has a high enough fund balance that would make sense to do that. All of our other accounts like street lights, fire, EMS, that comes in, starts really coming in April, but most of that's going out again by the end of June, so
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense to try to do that. But again, if we can potentially open up accounts with Pliget or somewhere else that, we have the liquidity of the funds, but still having that higher rate, might make sense to move some of this to Pliget, so. But that's our plan. Board have any questions, objections?
What do
Good
you
with
need
that?
from us, just consensus?
Just a consensus.
Any questions from anybody?
I'm good.
Everybody okay with it?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Bob, you good?
I'm okay.
All right, looks like you have a unanimous consensus.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, thank you for pursuing that and getting a little bit more money in our hands. It was kind of a shock when it first went down. While we're on,
I maintain Ryan's worth it, just for the record.
I do too.
All right,
Thank you.
carry on.
just in a financial question, it's not on here, but I had a inquiry from the library asking when they thought we would make our next contribution. Have we given them anything this year?
No, we haven't done
All right,
anything
I
yet.
think
for-
what I'm gonna tell them is kind of the same answer New Freedom did. When they can assure us it stays local and does not go to York or to the general library, but it stays here. And I think that'll be after they get the Friends of the Library organized, because they're still working on that. And then we would make that contribution to the Friends and not to the library system.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that sounds
I agree.
reasonable. So I'll respond back to him.
Okay.
And let him know that. Just asked that question yesterday. Okay, we're the first opportunity for public comment, if anybody wishes to speak to the board at this time. And there's not, so we will move to ordinances and resolutions. We have one resolution, which is the emergency operation plan, which is that 100 and some pages. Todd, I don't know if you want to comment on it, or
Here it is, if anyone looks at it before we vote on it. No, I don't have anything. Stan's our emergency management coordinator through the, we have a regional emergency management agency, which is Shrewsbury, Glenrock, New Freedom, Railroad Borough, and Shrewsbury Township. We meet quarterly. Stan is a volunteer who does an amazing job for us, and I know he's gone through this in fine detail. Just wasn't a whole lot of things to update, but he did
right,
bring
it's
it
not
up
brand
to
new,
date.
it's an
Yeah.
update. And you and Ryan and I have been in various meetings where
Yeah.
he's gone through it,
Yeah.
so I think we can speak to say it's in good shape
Yes,
to approve, but it does have to be approved. It's either every year or every other year.
every 2 years.
Every 2 years. So along those lines, I would go ahead and make a motion that we approve resolution 2026-10, the emergency operation plan.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions before we vote? Call for the vote.
Aye.
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 5 votes to the affirmative, so we have approved the plan, and I'm sure that'll make Stan happy. All right, I think the next two, Todd, are just information telling us we'll have 2 ordinances, and each one will have a, I'm sure they'll be short, but a public hearing before we vote. But
Yeah, I
it's
was
next
hoping it
month.
was going to be tonight, but CGA and myself, I got mixed up with their email. I thought they were advertising, they thought I was. So they are now on the books with the newspapers to be advertised, so they will be definitely ready for adoption at the April meeting.
Okay. Moving on to subdivision and land development, we have one item to take a look at, which I think is just kind of readjusting boundaries for some land, but I don't know if you want to walk us through it.
Yeah. Of course, everybody on the board received a copy of the proposed subdivision plan, a copy of the modification requests, as well as the comment letter from C.S. Davidson and the York County Planning Commission. Basically, what we did, I thought the easiest thing to do, because I don't know about anybody else, when I look at that subdivision plan, there's an awful lot of lines everywhere. It's hard to decipher what's what. So basically what we have here, and I apologize, I don't know whose lot it's who. We have the 2 property owners here.
Right.
But if you look here, the green lines that you see are based off of the county assessment lots, or assessment office map. So we have this first one here. Okay, let's see here. sorry, he had to use the mouse to move that over for those that are watching live. This is a single parcel here, okay? And again, I don't recall which one of these gentlemen own it, but nonetheless, the lot's gonna be subdivided. There's no homeowner or anything. So what you see in this darker aqua color is the existing lot. This lighter color is going to be added to and made a part of this lot. And then the same here, that darker aqua color is the existing parcel for this particular property owner. And approximately this portion of the vacant lot is going to be added to this adjoining property. So simply taking and subdividing a vacant lot and adjoining equal portions or however it's proportioned to the two neighboring properties.
So there are no improvements, it's basically just changing the lot lines, so
Correct.
the 5 modifications that are asked for would seem to make sense.
Yes. Yeah, which are for a clear site triangle of the driveways, which isn't necessary. There's no new development. They're existing. Water feasibility study, environmental impact study, roadway improvements, and lot depth. And again, these are going to be add-on lots to existing lots. There's no new development proposed. So staff and planning commission both recommend that the board approve the modification request.
Okay,
Are
so,
there building lots?
No, no, there would be no, what they're subdividing here will be attached to and become of the part of the deed in one large parcel.
Okay, so it never could have had a building to begin with?
It could have, yes.
Oh, so there was a building, right?
Well, this is not in the ag district.
Oh,
This is in a residential. But they would have been able to build on it, but.
I can make a comment.
sure.
Could you just identify your name for the, just for the minutes?
Yeah, Larry Dubell. I'm the owner of the house that's on towards the top of the screen. So this was, there should be a sewer right for that lot that should become freed up that the township will have access to because it was already tied up. It was tied up for what was 8 or 10 Ridgewood Road, but that's going to become null and void now. So this should free up a sewage right for you guys.
Okay,
Do we know who has the EDU?
thank you.
Well, and that would go into Glen Rock
That's Glen Rock, yeah.
sewer,
Okay.
not New Freedom, Shrewsbury. Yeah.
Okay, so we need 2 things to look at, 2 steps. One would be to look at approval of the modification request first. There is a motion.
Is there anything outstanding on the C.S. Davidson letter?
Well, that'll be the next step, the
next one,
final
yes.
plan.
Yeah. I was preparing.
Okay.
I'll wait. I'll make a motion to approve the modifications for the Ridgewood Road parcels.
second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the modification request for the property in front of you. Are there questions before we vote? Call for the vote.
Aye.
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 5 votes to the affirmative. The modification requests are approved. And now we would look at approving the final subdivision plan, and that would be subject to any comments from C.S. Davidson.
Carry on, Todd.
As well as, again, staff and the planning commission recommend approval of the plan on the condition that all the comments in the C.S. Davidson letter dated January 28th of 2026 and York County Planning Commission comments dated February 2nd, 2026 are all addressed and corrected prior to recording of the plan.
I don't know if I've ever made a motion with planning commission attached to it
Yeah.
before. This is exciting.
Yeah.
Any questions? I'd like to make a
Okay.
motion.
Please.
Make a motion to approve the final subdivision plan, contingent upon the fact that all of the requirements from the C.S. Davidson letter dated January 28, 2026, and the planning commission notes dated February 2nd have been satisfied.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the final subdivision plan, conditional upon the 2 letters referenced would be pursued and approved. Questions before we vote? Call for the vote.
Aye.
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 5 votes to the affirmative, so we have approved subdivision plan as well. Should be-
Okay, Larry Dubell, where do we go from here, Mike? Are we gonna get a letter from the county saying that this has been registered in the courthouse someplace?
No, what, the next step is you both will receive a letter from me,
Okay,
and it'll be a conditional approval letter, and it'll outline their motion, and you're required under state law, I have to get that out to you within 15 days. Under state law, you have to respond within 5 that you accept those conditions. You don't have to accept them, but then the plan's deemed denied. So, we'll do that, and then we'll just make sure we have all the signatures, and we'll review the 2 comment letters and just make sure everything's been addressed. And if there's any loose ends, we'll catch up with Josh and go over that with him. And then once all that's been completed, then the township goes in and we actually do the recording of the plan, and we will let you know when that's done.
okay.
We'll give you the book and page number and everything on that as
Right,
well.
and after that, then we can proceed with settlement.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the next step is we'll receive a letter in the mail from you and
Yes,
we'll sign
or
it.
email.
Or
Yeah.
email,
Yeah.
okay,
Whatever Megan has, I don't know if she has your emails or not, but,
yeah, okay. Just gotta make sure we check our
yeah,
spam.
so, okay, yeah,
Okay.
all right.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you. Okay, moving on, we have some reports to go through. The first is from the manager. Any comments, Todd, from you or Ryan, or any questions from the board?
I don't think I have anything other than what's in my written report.
Questions? All right, we will move on to no report from the solicitor. You have the zoning officer, codes enforcement, sewage enforcement report. I will tell you that Todd, Ryan, and I went through this in pretty good detail yesterday, and things are either moving or plan to move forward. A few that are stuck up in court action, but hopefully we're pushing those as well. So unless you had any comment or
I
any
have
questions from the
nothing to add.
board. Okay. I have the maintenance department report. Again, pretty clean, Todd, unless you want to comment on anything.
Where are we on the bridge?
Still under plan development with CS Davidson and permitting from DEP.
Do we have an ETA?
We do not, Mike and Ryan and I talked about that a little bit. We do not think that we'll be open until the end of the year. Because the DEP permitting alone could take up to 6 months. And usually they take every day of it.
That's
Yeah.
the one that washed out underneath.
Yeah, kind
There
of
was-
the scouring underneath, yeah.
all right.
Yep.
I don't think anybody there is in any hurry to have it repaired.
No, they seem to be satisfied. Now, we did get, I had 2 different folks that suggested that the township close it, and I know we talked about that a little bit yesterday. But I am quite certain that nobody wants us to abandon the whole road, that they're responsible for, a mile of driveway. So we would probably have, if we were to do that, to close that bridge, then we'd have to construct 2 cul-de-sacs, which Mike is capable of doing.
Yeah.
But Ryan talked to Mike and Mick, who does the plowing in that area, and they just do not want to see another cul-de-sac. They just don't think it's going to work well. So I think we should probably just move forward and replace the bridge. Yeah.
Unless that group of people who live there all agree that they'll take it
Yeah,
over.
I really have a hard time believing they would all agree with
Yeah.
that, but maybe,
Okay.
maybe I'm wrong. But
All right, anything else for that? You have the engineer's report, pretty self-explanatory unless somebody has questions. You have the recreation report. We did receive the breakdown we had asked for, and we do have a couple of questions. We noticed, Jeff, that $10,200 in expenses for line dancing, so we're asking to what kind of revenue came in from that so that we can see whether revenues are exceeding expenses there or not. And there were a couple other concerns, and Todd's gonna get back with them for questions. One was on the amount of money spent for an audit. It was like $3,300, and that seems awfully high to us. We're wondering if there's some other things included in that. And we're just curious what the $2,500 for the band, what that was used for, whether that was a fundraiser associated with the VFW or whatever that was. So Todd has a list of questions to go back to them with.
Refresh my memory, where do they get their budget from?
Well, right now it's the rec commission, which I assume Jeff is put together by the rec director and probably the manager of New Freedom Borough. I would think those two are the ones putting it together.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the first I ever seen this instructor's line dance.
Well, that's what we asked for the back.
This is the first I ever seen
know.
that on anything.
If you notice, that's,
Yeah, I think what you're seeing, Jeff, is.
now this is last year.
Yeah.
I know.
But I think all that's included in your reports
You
is
see
this
the
one that says income and expense report.
Yeah,
And it just is the basic line
Right.
items. It says programs.
I know.
And that's the one we asked for detail of the programs, which provided all this listing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking at 13.
Well, this here we should be discussing at our meetings too.
Yes, at your
well.
rec council meetings, yeah.
That's something for you to bring up at next meeting.
How much was the line dancing?
It's $10,200 for the instructor.
Because all I'm seeing is 1,300 for programs. Am I looking at the wrong thing?
Are you looking at the breakdown? We asked for a break.
I don't think I got that one.
You've got a different report there.
That
You're in the
would explain
wrong
it.
report.
Aha.
You were looking at the
You're
fire
looking at
company
the,
report.
well,
You're looking at what I see.
oh, okay.
I got that one here.
That's what, because that was such a high number, that's why we asked for the breakdown. But that line dancing is almost 50% of the total program. So now, maybe they brought in 15,000. If so, then that's okay. If they brought in 5, that's not so good.
I got my doubts. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So,
I didn't hear that it was that heavily attended.
Well, I told Art, I said, over 10,000 for line dancing, and I haven't seen anybody that can dance around here.
No wonder they needed the lesson.
so Jeff, we've asked for information on that, for the 3327 on the audit, and for the $2,500 on the band, just so we understand what's
Well, I think the band is one of them summer in the park.
concert, you think, or we thought maybe it was something to do with the VFW big thing they had. But that's why we're asking.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they pay for the bands for the summer in the
Yeah.
park.
Well, I know some of those are sponsored by individuals, so I'm
Okay.
assuming they're covering a lot of the costs when that happens. So at any rate, we've asked for a breakdown of the breakdown. So we have and revenues that are associated. I think that's the other thing we need to see, what revenues are associated. Because 2 years from now, this is supposed to be
Oh, I know.
Self-sufficient.
self-sufficient, exactly right. So we just need information. Can't really make any judgment till we see that. I think we all still feel, and I think Todd's gonna talk about this a little bit too with them, that $5 is just not enough for a non-resident as an adder.
I think it needs to be.
You know, that's all they do now. If you're not a resident of New Freedom or Shrewsbury, you pay $5 more, that's all. And we're funding it, you know, along with DCNR, so we're both funding that, so they aren't. Okay. Fire and EMS, Brad, you gave us a nice report. Anything you wanna? Okay. I saw the report you had here. Is this report, all-inclusive for the territory or just the township?
Everything's 60 days.
Okay, that's what I thought. Anybody have any questions on the incident type report? Thank you for preparing that. It helps a lot. You have the Planning Commission Land Development Report in front of you. And I gotta flip the page. emergency management, we kind of covered that, I guess, with our vote. The zoning ordinance committee, we met yesterday, Todd, Ryan, and I, for several hours, and tried to take all the comments from the committee meeting we had last, put those together in an ordinance form. So Todd is now doing a final on that, and then we'll have another meeting of the ad hoc committee, get their input, and either approve it to come to the planning commission of the board, or to go back for a little more work. And the sewer committee, Todd, Ryan, and I attended a users group meeting. Was that last week? About a week or so ago, I guess.
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago.
Yep. Lot of information, not anything that gives any hope that we're going to solve our sewer problem anytime soon. I don't think there was really a lot accomplished at the meeting, other than some information was given out.
Yeah.
So,
More of a upgrade or improvement update on the
Yes.
current project more
yep,
than anything.
that's what most of
Yeah.
it was. Now, we have another meeting in about 3 months.
Yeah, I don't remember what date. I don't know if he actually sent out a firm date. I know he sent out the meeting poll.
Right.
But,
So anyway, we'll have another one coming up when it'll be further along with what's happening at the plant. I don't know if there's anything that we could do with the sewer committee meeting at this time, our own committee.
After the meeting with the users group, I did request some information
Right.
from Shrewsbury Borough and the Sewer Authority on the gallons, the consumption, the water use, and their budgets and so forth.
Maybe when you
So,
get that information.
yeah, they did get that to us just, I think, the end of last week or Monday. But I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. But I think Ryan and I will sit down, we'll go through that and try to make some sense of it, and then
Then I think we
follow
should
up
get
with
the committee
yeah,
together, just
yeah.
so everybody knows where we are and if we got any options.
Right.
We told them that we thought it would maybe urge them to do something, told them basically we have no choice but to encourage developers to look at on-lot septic. And I think there was even a comment from somebody on the group that said, that might not be so good, because they're going to say, why aren't you putting this through the sewer plant?
Yeah, it might be a red flag to DEP, I don't know.
Right. So we'll do that, and then get the committee together and try to look at where we are and where we might go. Comments on any of the committee meetings? You have my comments. I would note at the LGAC, we had a nice presentation on agricultural security areas. There are a few comments that I thought, took away from it. One of the things I didn't realize, it's interesting to know that if something's in ag security and they split off some lots from that, unless the township basically takes and removes it from ag security, you could have a half-acre lot and have chickens on it, or just to use an example, because it keeps the ag security, so you can do anything on that split-off lot that you could do on a big farm. So it's up to the township that has to remove it from ag security when you get that small acre. I think I'm right. And
Do we have any?
That's
that
what
have
they said, but
been
I
split
have a
off?
hard time wrapping my head around that, because when you put a property into ag security, it has to be recorded at the recorder of deeds, and there has to be a uniform, the UPI number for that specific property is what's registered.
right.
That's what's
Yeah,
recorded.
we were talking about that. Yeah.
So that's what doesn't make sense to me, because if you sub off any lots, they get a whole brand new uniform parcel ID number. So I don't understand how that would apply when they're
Yeah.
not listed in our resolution that's required to be recorded.
I agree with you, but according,
And the other thing is, I forget what the minimum acreage is, but it's far greater than a half acre or an acre to be eligible.
Ag security.
Yeah, so, yeah. Art
Yeah.
gave me the information. I didn't get a chance to look through it yet, but I thought that was interesting what they
yeah,
told
that
them
was
at a
from
meeting.
Eric Naylor, who
yeah.
supposedly, but you have that information, so you
Yeah.
might.
Yeah, well, I seen that, and that didn't make sense to me either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get anybody copies of the information they gave us. Maybe since you're on the ag security, you might be interested in just, it's not much, it's just a few pages. Or we'll let Todd.
Yeah, like I said, I know there's an acreage minimum for that, too.
Well, it says if it's no longer 10 acres, then the municipality can remove it. So at any rate, we have some information that we can look at regarding that.
Have we had any people subdivide a ag security property recently?
Yeah, the only one I can think of was Jason Denaya's 10 lots along Forest Avenue. It's the only one I can think of offhand.
Okay.
And, well, yeah, yeah. Because that wasn't an ag security on Al Campbell at all.
No. So, yeah, so that has me puzzled because it just doesn't make sense. We have to record it. The recorder of deeds has to be approved by resolution to make it a legal document. But that new subdivided lot is not one of those listed on that recorded document.
You know,
So I don't know.
maybe Eric's
It'll
not
be a
quite
good
up.
question, yeah.
And the only other thing was that on the 12th of March, if anybody's interested, it's a 3-hour workshop, 9 to noon, in York at the Pleasant Valley facility on facility scale solar. So that would be large solar operations. By a gentleman who I think is pretty well respected in his knowledge in that area. All right, if no other questions there, we'll move on to old business.
I've got one comment to make.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah,
that's right.
Sorry I didn't give you a chance, please.
That's right. Last Saturday, I attended the Shrewsbury Fire Department annual banquet, and it was quite a wonderful event. I'm not sure of the exact attendance. It was heavily attended. There were at least 70 people or more is my estimate. Food was great, and the meeting was chaired by Brad Dauberman, our fire chief, and he held the ceremony was basically went through for each person that volunteers, they came up front and they were awarded a plaque or a certificate thanking them for their contributions. So there's a lot of people, a lot of volunteers that spend a lot of time, trying to protect us. The culmination was the Fireman of the Year was announced, and that was Tony Meyer. So I recommend people go to that. It was nice.
Thank you. Anything from anybody else? All right, now we'll move to old business. We have Miller Park Master Plan update, and I guess here we want to try to fill a few committee, and I think we have a couple of...
Yeah, I think I laid
Yes.
a copy up there.
I don't know if you gave us a copy, but you sent us.
Yeah, did I give you a copy with 3 names in red?
No.
Okay.
I've got a blank one.
We just filled, we just, 2 of these names were recommended to us today. And they have some background. I did send you an email. I don't know if everyone had a chance to look at it. But what this committee would do is, we have an existing master plan for the existing Miller Park, which is 22 acres. As you know, we purchased an additional 13 acres adjacent to it along Strawberry Road. So we now want to go back and revisit that master plan and redevelop that plan to incorporate, all 35 acres. And part of that process is having a committee member for that master plan development. The recommendation is that it would be 10 people in addition to the consultant. On the staff side would be Art as the board chair, myself, Ryan, Mike McLean, who's our maintenance supervisor, Brian Olweiler, who's an employee of the township, does all the parks maintenance. On the resident community side would be Rachel McCulley, who's the new rec director, Lindy Sweeney, who is a resident of the township, Sue Ward, who is a resident of the township, Rick Parrish, who is a resident of the township, and Aaron Farrow, who is with the YMCA. And then our consultant, we've already entered into a contract with her, if you recall, is Ann Yost with YSM Landscape Architects. So if the board's comfortable with these names, we just need a motion to appoint these folks to that committee.
I'll make a motion to appoint them to the committee.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to fill out the committee members, approve them as they're listed, plus the ads that Todd just gave you. Questions before we vote? We ask for the vote to approve the committee members.
Aye.
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 5 votes to the affirmative. We have now a full committee to start the work. All right, new business. We have large-scale burns on here first.
I only see one.
Well, I think this is just a copy of the permit.
I gave you a revised agenda, should be
Yeah, you
there.
should have a revised.
He means
agenda.
we have a permit
I've
for
se-
the
I
one.
I have
Oh.
a permit, I have the revised agenda, but I don't have a second permit. I'm gonna assume.
Oh, I
everything
did
was in
not
order.
give you a copy of that, because it's a
Okay.
single page. It's for Kurt Holloway, who's in the audience, and he knows what to do and what not to do, so
I would hope.
I saved a
Fair
couple
enough.
sheets of paper.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, on the revised agenda, we have two, 1786 Spruce Road, Kurt Holloway. Again, you know, the board, as you know, we generally, when they're approved, tell the applicant that they need to contact.
fire department.
Call the fire department, and coordinate that
It's gonna be a
large-scale
quick call
burn.
for
and
one of
whatever.
them.
So Kurt
Okay.
certainly knows the process. This, I believe, involves also an old farmhouse as well as some brush.
We're burning the farmhouse? Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Are
Um,
you, can you use that as like a training exercise or something?
So we, the inside, the floor is unstable, so it's only a 3-room house.
Okay.
One floor is solid, but the roof, yeah, we're gonna take the fire company down and do some,
Okay.
exercises prior to doing that.
There we go. All right.
I'll have, there'll be an engine and tanker there,
Just in case.
an excavator.
All right.
And
And
then
you were
the-
telling us about the other one?
Yeah, the other one's in Brad's neighborhood.
You've been alerted. They're still
He-
supposed to
he's
call
already
you.
he's already been alerted.
Okay.
Because I think they received 2, maybe 3 calls. The property came in and got a burn permit for the standard burn. He applied for a permit for the large-scale burn. However, the only thing he was really in violation of was burning large scale without board approval. And I believe, and Brad, correct me if I'm wrong, but probably the biggest issue that they've run into is it's where it's taking place is up along 83.
A lot of witnesses.
So they're getting lots of witnesses and calls and whatever. So after the last incident, I did call and talk to the property owner and told him that, you know, if it's over the large scale minimum distance
20
or
feet?
size, 20 feet diameter, he can't do those burns until after the board approves it. And he's gonna have to work with Shrewsbury Fire Company. And his question to me was, well, when I do those burns, can I have multiple 20-foot diameter burns? I told him no. I told him, if you get one pile going, and it's pretty well
bad to
burnt
it?
down, then you can fire up the other one, but not have 3 or 4 of them going on out there at one time.
Okay.
yeah.
But he only needs one permit for all of them.
Correct,
Okay,
correct.
okay. All right.
Yeah, and then the other thing we
This way it
talked
doesn't look like
about.
the whole field's on
Yeah.
fire.
The other thing we talked about, and Brad and I talked about this a little bit as well, given where it is along 83, suggested that maybe if he has a pickup truck or something, just park it up along 83 and have his headlights on or his 4-way flashers or something, just so passing motorists knows that someone's aware that it's going on.
Yeah, but if it's called in, county control shouldn't be dispatching.
Well, I don't know how that works.
Oh, that's what I thought it's supposed to work. Because that's why you call in, right?
Yeah, that's what they used to say, but I don't think that matters. Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, that's the first I heard that.
So,
He-
But anyway,
he-
I
he
think
didn't-
I-
He didn't get in too much trouble for the ones that he didn't have approval for?
no, I mean, did you put them out?
No,
Yeah, okay.
he was
He-
cooperative. The first one in January, he covered, it was super windy, and he
Yeah.
covered it with dirt. He had a big excavator, which was more efficient than if we put water on it.
Okay.
And then the 21st, around 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., we got dispatched 3 times, and I think the first time they had 2 or 3 calls on it. And the problem is, it looks like it was a house in the woods, just by the size of the fire, and it was in the tree line. So
Yeah.
people driving by, they thought it was a house on fire. So to that question, when they called 911, somebody says, hey, there's a house on fire. They still have to dispatch it. But I knew that location, and right away the dispatcher said, we have a controlled burn in that area. I'm like, yeah, there's no houses there. So held everything in station, and then just went. And I called him, and he's like, yeah, everything's good. So, but
Okay.
within 5 minutes, somebody else called. 15 minutes later, somebody else called. So,
All right.
so yeah, the lights, a vehicle there that shows somebody is attending it would probably cut down on it.
All right. Maybe we could get a fire truck with some flashy lights?
Well,
I'm
they're gonna have
kidding,
to
I'm
coordinate
kidding.
with the fire department,
Okay.
so, yeah.
Maybe one that's, being decommissioned or something? Ah. All right, make a motion to approve both large-scale burns for 1786 Spruce Road and 12283 Deal Court.
Second.
Thank you.
Are you pretty much, I know you had a lot of concerns, you pretty much satisfied they've been, or,
I would prefer if it was pulled out from the tree line and into the open field. I think that would eliminate a lot of the confusion. And I think it was Todd's idea, a vehicle, even if he bought a $20 yellow flashy strobe, put on the roof, then, which I don't know if you can do. But that makes it look like, yeah, somebody there is attending it.
so do we have the option to make this permit conditional upon that, or is that
You
not?
do. You do. Yeah, so I made a note here, assuming you may add that as a condition, that they pull the burn pile out of the woods line, out of the woods, and that they put some kind of vehicle or some kind of flashing light or something up there, just as an indicator to folks that,
My first
People are
question,
aware.
I would say we have a motion a second. We do need to let that one die if we do something else. But my first question is, are the rest of the woods in danger in the area? I'm not familiar with the location.
They are, but it sounds like their plan is to clear out the whole woods.
Okay.
And that's what's being burned is
All right.
large trees.
My concern is added responsibility, for lack of a better term, on the property owner, having to move such a large pile into the field. But I could be swayed.
Oh, they're planning on eliminating that whole section?
yeah, Ryan brought up, there you can see where the little, looks like the kettle with the handle. Yeah, and that is actually a location where we recently approved the 80,000
Oh, is
chicken
that the-
house. 80,000 bird chicken house is going in there, So-
Where the woods
where the
currently
woods are, yeah.
Okay.
Where was the burn taking place, where this is, the square is in there?
Do you know where the cell phone tower is?
That's in that little,
It's in,
it's in the little,
Just to the left of the cell.
Between that and 83?
Just into the woods,
right there.
yeah.
but to the left a little
So
bit.
it's kind of in the middle of the
toward
woods.
83.
No, it's not in the middle. It's on the edge of the
It's
woods.
on the edge.
So it
You
wouldn't,
can see it there.
so it wouldn't take a lot to.
You can see it in the picture.
No, and he has a big excavator.
So he could easily move it a little bit,
I think so. But I think even out in the field 20 feet,
right,
people driving by like, that's not a house.
right.
But in the woods,
Now
you
they
see a
can't
ball
tell.
of fire. Last Saturday I saw it from White's Garage in Shrewsbury. I knew where that cell phone tower was. I knew what it was, but it was impressive looking.
Can,
All right.
can we make that,
Well, Dave can amend his motion.
No, but
to
can we
include that.
do that
Yeah.
unique to one property?
You can,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's just a
that's the
condition
purpose of,
It's just a
yeah.
condition of the,
I stand by my motion. You can kill it.
Did you second?
One of you did. I don't remember.
I seconded it.
I thought it was Jeff.
I did.
Okay, well, we have that motion on the table, so we need to vote one way or the other on that, so I'll call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye.
No?
Aye.
No.
Okay, so we've approved it as is.
Oh, hold it. No.
He
I
wants a
didn't realize what
do-over.
was going, I
He
thought we
wants a
just killed the
do-over.
Okay.
Okay,
no.
the motion, so it's clear to everybody, is that we would allow the burn without any conditions, right?
Correct. So we have 2 ayes and 3 nays.
Well,
Is-
I'll change mine to no because I misunderstood.
There we go.
So did I.
I didn't do a good job of explaining that, I'm sorry.
All right. May I make a second motion?
Yes, sir, you may.
Let's split these up. I'd like to make a motion that we approve 1786 Spruce Road for his burn permit.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the Spruce Road large burn. Questions? Call for the vote.
Aye.
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 5 votes to the affirmative. That
Now we
one's
can move
approved.
on.
Now we can move to the next one.
Yes. Would anyone like to make a motion?
Go ahead.
No, I don't want to.
I'll make a motion that we approve 12238 Deal Court on the condition that they drag it a little bit further out into the clearing away from the woods and have a vehicle with some flashing lights on it while the burn is in process.
Even if it's just a four, even if it's just
What if he
four
doesn't
ways.
have flashing lights?
Even if
He
it's
said he
just
can
four-
go buy a bar for $20.
Well, I told
It's already
him,
cost him $10.
no,
for
I
the
told him if he
permit.
just had a vehicle up there with 4-way flashers on,
Yeah, it's
people are gonna
Okay,
know
all
someone's
right, all
there.
All right, so the motion would be that it's some kind of flashing.
Some kind of signal to indicate that,
Right.
Okay.
yeah.
I'll second it, but when I look at the map, looks like the people that are most likely gonna see it are people going up and down 83.
Mhm, the other
Well,
people who
that's
called
who's
in the last
turning
time.
in.
And that's where the problem is. They're the ones that are seeing it and calling it in.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it looks like they can't see, they think there's a house in that woods.
Right.
All right, are there any questions before we vote? I'll call for the vote.
Nay.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
4 votes to the affirmative, 1 negative, so we have approved with conditions the large burn at 12283 Deal Court. All right, moving on, development right verifications.
Standard?
It's
Any issues?
standard, yeah, there's nothing special about either one of these.
Make a motion to approve both developmental right verification request agreements for properties 2712 Thistles Church Road and 2771 Thistles Church Road.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the 2 development right agreements. Questions? Call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
5 votes to the affirmative, we've approved those. And we now have 2 stormwater operation and maintenance agreements.
Standard? Thank you, Todd. Make a motion to approve both stormwater operation maintenance agreements for 14555, 8 Stelz Road and 18985 Hebel Road.
Second.
Have a
Thank
mo-
you.
Have a motion and a second. Thank you both for approving stormwater operation and maintenance agreements. Questions? Call for the vote.
Aye.
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 5 votes to the affirmative. We've approved those. You have just one piece of correspondence, which is about something going on in Glen Rock. If you want to go take a look at information on a pedestrian safety improvement project they have going on. And gives us one more opportunity for public comment. If anybody wants to speak further, sure.
Good evening. Just a question here.
Can you give us your name?
Bruce Oshesky,
Okay. And your street address, please.
1784 Spruce Road.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
What's this about the zoning ordinance amendment for a data center?
Oh, that is just, we're working on text amendment to our zoning ordinance to place regulations should a data center ever want to come into Shrewsbury Township. Right now, we really don't have much that covers that.
Okay.
And what's being proposed, we're working on the fine details of it, but it would have to be in the industrial zone, which is pretty much limited to the north side up here between 83 and the trail. And there's really not much room to do that. And from what we understand, from most of the law firms in York County, is if they're interested in coming into your municipality, they would have already been in to talk to you, and we haven't heard a word. So we don't think they're planning to come to this area, but we're trying to be proactive and get something in place.
Best to be prepared in the event they do, but we don't offer a lot of what they're looking for, but I think every municipality in York County is trying to get their ducks in a row in the event one does want to look at coming in. So ours is fairly restrictive, and that's why we want to get it done, so that whenever did, we have as much control over it as we can. You have to allow them somewhere in the municipality if they want to come in. We don't think they'll want to come here, but as you know, the governor of the state has encouraged them quite a lot. So are a lot of the other legislatures. To us, they wouldn't bring much money because we have a very low real estate tax. To some of the municipalities who have a much higher real estate tax, they would be a huge source of income. Here, no, probably a couple $1,000. That's probably it. So
Yeah, and I think there's 3 that are proposed in York County right now. Yeah, East Manchester, Conewago, and down Lower Windsor. Yeah.
Probably near the
Yeah.
power plants.
Yeah, there's actually a website that shows where they're all being proposed in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So kind of to the eastern side of the state, north to south on the eastern side, and around Pittsburgh area a lot.
they want lots of land. They want close proximity to power transmission lines and close proximity to water. They're loud. They make a lot of noise and can have some vibration and other issues that just aren't really desirable, we believe. So all you can do is put some conditions on what you would allow and what they would have to meet should one want to come in. But as Todd said, they've probably already contacted the areas of most interest, and they're kind of right now looking at areas of least resistance, where they have the land, they have the water, they have the power, and they have somebody that wants them.
There,
And
Ryan brought up the website there. And if you click on the balloons there, it tells you a little bit what's going on and what stage they're at. And none of them are too far.
Yeah, this one's in Peach Bottom. I think this is East Manchester, yeah. East Manchester.
Take that.
Conewago.
That really fits the bill of what they need then.
This
In
is
those areas.
Conewago also.
some of these are huge. There's one going in Virginia that's 3,500 acres and several, I think a dozen buildings or something like
Seems
that.
excessive.
Yeah, well, Virginia is kind of where they all sit.
I know, but I wouldn't wanna
Pennsylvania
live
is
near
the-
I
that.
know a guy's been working on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania is the biggest,
You have to have
second
security
largest
clearances.
state in terms of power availability. The only one bigger is Texas, and Texas has no water. So if they look at Pennsylvania and say, well, they got the power, have a lot of transmission lines. York County has done a graph of that shows the transmission lines, and they run all over the place. So you can be close to those very quickly. And we have a lot of water. Not that we might want to use it for cooling, but there's a lot here. So Pennsylvania becomes attractive. I say, we have a government that says, we want them, bring them on. So, I'm not saying they're good or bad, we just want to make sure if one should come here, it's as best as we can make it for us.
All right, thanks for clearing it up.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
By the way, another side note, I'm glad we did the solar panel thing.
Right.
In the last 2 weeks, I've gotten 3 inquiries to rent my ground
For solar,
for solar.
we don't allow, our ordinance does not allow solar in the ag district. And that's what Jeff is mentioning. And we've done similar ordinances on warehouses, and we are unfortunately getting 2 of those, and they're gonna be big, but, we're making them the best warehouse that we can make them give us. One of those is gonna start construction in April, right?
That's their plan.
Yeah. So,
Moving earth anyway.
yeah.
Yes.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All
Oh,
right.
thanks.